Let's look at manipulating audio in Premiere Pro. So I'm just going to call this project Manipulating Audio, and we'll see a few things that we can do in Premiere Pro. Of course, you'd use Audition as your primary sound editing product, but there are a few things you can do in Premiere Pro, and sometimes what Premiere Pro does is good enough. After we create our project is import our media. I'm just going to import happy music because it's happy, and I'm going to drag that to create our sequence, and I'm just going to drag this up, or put my mouse cursor between A1 and A2 and drag that just so I can see the sound wave a bit better. So the first thing we're going to do is just change the volume, and the way we're going to do that is through keyframes. Now you actually need two keyframes. The first keyframe is where you're going to start transitioning to a lower or higher volume. The second keyframe is when you finish transitioning from the lower or higher volume. So let's see that in action. Like with video effects, you'll see that we've got this line here that comes automatically. You don't need to right click on FX and do anything here. That line will be there automatically. And to add a keyframe, we just hold down the control key and find a spot on our timeline that we want to add the keyframe. So I'll start maybe there. So we're starting, it's very loud to begin with, and that's our first keyframe. And we want to, so that's where we start reducing the volume. And here will be holding down the control key. Here is where we'll finish decreasing the volume. Now that we've got two keyframes, we can just move this one here, just drag the keyframe down to decrease the volume. So I said before that this first keyframe is where we start decreasing the volume, and here is where we finish decreasing the volume. And the rest of the audio will have that decreased volume. So let's just play it and hear what it sounds like. And there we go, that's quite simple. You just need those two keyframes, one to start the increase or decrease, and the other to finish the increase or decrease. Now I held the control key down and just clicked on this line to create keyframes, but you can also now just use that keyframe button. By default you don't see that. When the audio track is very narrow, you don't see it, so you do actually have to drag it down, and then you can see that. But I just find holding down the control key and clicking is on the line is much more efficient for creating keyframes. So the next thing we'll look at are some video effects, and I'm just going to delete the audio because it's quicker and just put it back in, and I'm going to press the home key to get to the start of my audio. So we're looking at some audio effects, so we go to our effects window here and go into audio effects. So there's a good number of audio effects. We'll just look at one of them. I don't know what half of those mean, so I do know the meaning of this one though, bass. So we drag that across, and let's just go to effect controls now, next to our source monitor window, and we've got bass here and boost. Very simple. We can just drag that and increase the bass. Let's go to the maximum bass and see what that sounds like. Well, there you go, very bassy. So you can have a go at some of those other effects as well.